Hello, everybody. It's CapCorgi. I wanted to talk about something interesting. Now, this is a game I've covered in the past before a couple of times. I've streamed it a couple of times, and it's because I love tactical shooters, especially extraction games. And honestly, this is a game type that I never thought I would like until I started playing Tarkov about Escape From Tarkov about I think about 2.5 years ago or so, and I got really hooked on Tarkov. It's still my favorite shooter, pretty much at this point, period, full stop. Anyways, so anytime there's an extraction game that really comes out and competes with it or is interesting in some way and, you know, kind of gives you those Tarkov vibes, I got to take a look. And so I did for a game called Arena Breakout Infinite. It went into open beta last year. It was kind of like an open beta slash a little bit like closed. You had to get a key, you had to ask for it, but they kind of let everyone in the playtest. It was pretty good for that time. And this was all the way back in, let me see. I made a video about it, so let me just see. It's well over a year ago. When was this put up? August 14th. Is when I made the video, so it was around then of 2024, so over a year ago. However, it ended up being completely pay to win. It really sucked because the gameplay of the game was very good. It was more of like a more arcadey, less hardcore version of Tarkov, but very, you know, relatively similar to Tarkov. And in fact, Tarkov learned a lot of things from the pretty popular beta of that game, and try to incorporate some of those aspects into its usability, its UI, and so on, and actually made Tarkov better. So, you know, even though Arena ended up becoming pay-to-win, it was still a pretty decent W. So, what happened? What happened? Let me show you guys. So, you know, they had their open beta. It was really cool, and it looked like there was space for pay-to-win, which is a little worrying. But, you know, the devs promised right, left, and sideways, hey, we're not going to add pay to win. Hey, we're not going to add pay to win. And then they did. It really sucked. I ended up making a video about it. I'll link this in the description below so you can see the history of what happened with this game. And I swore off the game because I fucking hate, loathe, and detest pay to win. And this game was completely pay to win. And I even, you know, described it in a video.
I do think
basically,
dog
this is
the case being.
Here you go. This is me talking about it all the way back in April 14th. Sorry, August 14th last year.
4x4, 6x6, only 30 days. And for the 6x6, it is $10. So every $10, sorry, every 30 days, you're going to have to spend $10 if you want a secure container.
So this is still in the game, by the way. This is 100% still in the game that, you know, at some point you're going to have to re-up on the secure container. It's a form of pay for convenience slash pay to win, but it, you know, the problem was this is not where it ended. So where you see this little symbol here with this monetary stuff that you could get. Never mind. But you saw it. Hold on, let me see if I can find it again. It's right here. So these daily coins, this is what I was looking for. That was the in-game currency that you would buy for actual real-life money. This was the problem. And these coins you could use to buy everything in the game. I'm talking ammo, I'm talking, you know, everything. I'm talking ammo, I'm talking meds, I'm talking bullets, I already said ammo, grenades, armor, you name it, gun attachments, thermal sights for like $20 essentially. Everything had a monetary value, which sucked because the game itself was really fun. I'll show some gameplay in the background while we yap. It was a huge L because the game itself was, like I said, pretty good. It's a little arcadey. You know, this game actually comes from a developer that made a mobile version of the game, Arena Breakout, and I think that's called Arena Breakout, whereas The game that's on PC and on Steam is Arena Breakout Infinite. I think that's like the difference between the two. It's like similar worlds. I didn't really delve into the thought process or anything like that. All I did was play the game a little bit during the beta when there was no pay to win, and they swore there would be no pay to win, and I had a lot of fun with it. But you know, it's very cool because it kind of like has a better system for playing with randoms that you know, I think could be interesting in Tarkov, though I do like soloing in Tarkov. So there's no real, like, you can solo in this game, but it was not really a major part of it because it was just so easy to play with random people online. And I actually made a lot of friends playing Arena Breakout Infinite in its beta, which is really dope. Really, really dope. But the gameplay was very, very smooth, which was nice. And like I said, a little less hardcore-y, a little more relaxed, but it had, you know, it had color coding for, you know, the loot drop, so you could, like, easily see kind of just like a quick usability improvement, like, is this worth money? Is this not? Should I keep it? Should I not? And also something that it had that Tarkov learned from were two major things. We're just talking a little bit about it because Arena Breakout just came out. It had all of the bullet stats on the bullet, so you could easily see how much damage and how much pen does the bullet have, which sounds like it would be pretty useful information, but, you know, Tarkov, in its infinite wisdom, while I love the game, it doesn't do everything perfectly. For almost all the time that I played it, it did not have any of those things in the game. You would have to go to an outside source, a wiki, to find out the bullet stats and stuff. Really dumb. Shockingly, because of the popularity of Arena Breakout Infinite's beta, they actually added this functionality into Tarkov, and now when you go into Tarkov, you can see all the stats of your bullets, the pen, the armor damage, the actual damage of the bullet for flesh, so on and so forth. It actually has all those things, which is great. You know, the game's infinitely better for that. Also, what they had was a button where you would heal continuously. You know, in Tarkov, you have to, like, drag and drop the bandages to every single individual body part, and which was interesting, and, you know, kind of gave a big immersion feel. But in terms of usability, in terms of gamification, it was kind of a lot more complicated to do. But this had a different system where, you know, if you held down the heal button, you'd be using all the things that you're supposed to be using, kind of like, you know, in an algorithmic sequence. First you would do heavy bleeds, and then light bleeds, and this and that, and you'd be healing all of your body parts without having to do the extra, you know, manual labor of drag and dropping and so on and so forth. So there was, and Tarkov added that. You know, Tarkov saw this and was like, hey, this is actually a pretty decent idea. There's no reason to not have this. So they added it. And also, like, you know, the people who play Tarkov was like, hey, these things just make sense, and so why don't you try to compete? You know, competition is a good thing. So Arena Breakout Infinite being, you know, not a perfect game by any means whatsoever, but having some good ideas, pushed Tarkov and Battlestate Games, who makes Tarkov, to kind of make some better decisions for the gamification usability of the game, which was very nice. And and I enjoyed the wipe after this for Tarkov. Ended up being one of my favorite wipes of all time, somehow. But anyways, moving on, what has happened? As of 4 days ago, Arena Breakout Infinite fully launched on Steam. And I was like, interesting. Why would I care about this? Because it's pay-to-win trash. However, they swore no more pay-to-win. Now, first of all, I just want to go back to my previous video. Arena Breakout Infinite is pay-to-win trash. This is me calling out that game for adding pay-to-win. I was very pissed, and it was a very good video. But you know, you see a lot of people either saying, like, yeah, honest dude with integrity, or people being like, I don't see how this is pay to win. I'm not concerned about it. I'm a free-to-play player. I was able to kill a pay-to-win player. That doesn't mean the game is not pay to win. It's just straight up still pay to win. You're just able to kill people because, you know, you can sometimes kill people in a tactical shooter if you're smarter than them. Even if they're buying, you know, a thermal scope for $20, if you're behind them, thermal scope's not going to do anything. Anyways, and so, like, there was a lot of people defending this bad behavior. I'm just very happy to see they finally fucking admitted the game was pay to win. They said it. So if you're from this previous video and you swore right, left, and sideways this wasn't pay to win, suck my fucking dick, I was right. And they're saying it themselves. Now, beyond that, they said that they took it out. I don't know if this is true or not. I hope it is. And so what I wanted to do is go through some of the Steam reviews, because it's been reviewed 2,000 times, which is not bad. 80% positive, which is pretty darn good. I feel like if it was actually pay to win still, the number would be far lower. You know, just glancing over, obviously it has the same cheaters as Tarkov does. Every game, sadly nowadays, this is a shooter game, genuinely has these problems with cheaters. It drives me nuts. But, you know, every kind of game has this problem. Battlefield 6 banned 300,000 cheaters. Literally 300,000. It's actually crazy how high that number is, and so on and so forth. They're like, you know, there's a lot of cheaters in these games, so I don't really fault Arena for this. But my real problem was pay to win, and it looks like I'm not really seeing any mention of pay to win in here. Which is really good, really good. Mixed feelings because of, like, the mechanics. You know, it's a lower time to kill. You feel a lot tankier in this game, so on and so forth. But it genuinely looks like there is no real problem with pay to win anymore from the reviews. So if that's the case, I am so fucking happy. I have put my video calling this game pay to win trash into every single tweet from Arena Breakout's official Twitter account that I possibly could since I made the video. Every time I see them pop up on my Twitter feed, I'm like, hey, is the game still pay to win trash? And it was pretty funny because I think what I said in this game, in this video, is that while the game was good, because it was pay to win, anyone who has any sort of self-respect and consider themselves, like, you know, a true blue, like, extraction player, someone who played Dark and Darker, someone who plays Tarkov, someone who plays any of the competitors of the extraction shooter genre, if you play any of these games, anytime it has true pay to win, no matter how fun the gameplay may be, no matter how relatively chill the gameplay is or whatever, no one will stick with the game because it's pay to win. And, you know, I said this over and over again, and no one believed me, But if you go back to the tweets from, like, you know, months and months ago, you'll see their tweets regularly getting, like, you know, 200 likes, 250 likes, 100 likes, and so on for, like, major updates, major patch notes, these things, which is terrible, which is fucking terrible. So what I said in this video was, if this pay to win continues, even if you're okay with pay to win, you should also still be pissed because your game that you enjoy playing will die because it has pay to win. I was right. Arena Breakout Infinite was dying. Was absolutely hardcore dying. And it had, like, its own launcher, so I don't think you can really trust the Steam numbers, but so sadly I can't really tell you if it was dying on Steam or what, but, you know, people were using their own launcher for it, you know, the maker of the game. So it's not really a thing that is, you know, showable to you via graph. But from my anecdotal evidence and from what people were saying, even people I met on the game that were very, very nice, they were like, yeah, I don't play Arena anymore. It's fully pay to win. Like, why would I play it? It was kind of sad to see because, you know, I like when there's more competition in the gaming genre. I like when new games can put forth interesting ideas. I like, you know, having multiple games that are decent in the same genre. I'm not, you know, a Tarkov diehard because it's Tarkov. It's not like I look at any other game and I'm like, you're a piece of shit because you're not Tarkov. I never say that. What I do say is, please do something different than Tarkov. Please do something better than Tarkov. So it moves the genre forward. I like having multiple options. If I want a space Tarkov, you know, apparently EVE Online is making a space Tarkov. I don't know if it's good or not, but I hope it's good because, you know, I just want more games like this. I like extraction games. I like, you know, tactical games. So, you know, the more games I have of these things, it's like, you know, the analogy with the pies. You know, you have an apple pie and a peach pie. Some may argue the apple pie is better. Some may argue the peach pie is better. I look at the pies and be like, holy shit, this is great. 2 pies. And I feel like that's maybe a little rare nowadays. Just sad, but, you know, I am what I am. I just like having good games. I'll always call out a good game for being good and a bad game for being bad. So if this is free forever for the titanium case, that is a form of pay to win taken out. Now this, I heard, might be still in the game. I'm not sure. So this might very well still be there. I don't know if it's free just for a month or it's free period. If it's free period, that's really good. If they take out the pay to win period, that's even better. Because the game is gorgeous. Like, it's using Unreal Engine 5. And the gameplay was smooth. Like, you know, you can see the screenshots here, which is totally fine. Anything can have good screenshots. But the actual gameplay, I tell you, was quite smooth. I like Tarkov's heavier movement better, personally. But, like, it was still fun. It was still good. It still had very, very good things about it. The maps were interesting. The maps were very different than Tarkov's maps. They were far less spread out, a little less immersive, and far more like you are in a true military zone, as opposed to Tarkov's, like, you know, the woods map in Tarkov's like you're in the woods, so it's very wide open. So I kind of liked how this was different, and, you know, even if I didn't fully agree with everything in the game, I could still understand and enjoy the game for what it was. Now, would you guys want to see Arena Breakout Infinite? Please let me know in the comments below. I will check it out. I will download the game and I will play the game. And I will give you my honest opinion. So if you guys want to hear my honest opinions, is the game pay to win? Did they make the game better? Is it worse? You know, da-da-da-da. All of that stuff, I will always give it to you straight. And like I said, you know, even if I dislike a game for being pay to win, if they change their stripes and they decide to no longer be pay to win, I will only applaud that. So I truly hope this is the case. I will look at it with an open mind and I will tell it to you guys and let you guys know. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Are you guys Tarkov players? Are you guys players of extraction games of other kinds? Are you players of Arena Breakout Infinite? I would love to hear your thoughts. And what do you like about this genre of extraction shooter? But let me know what you guys are excited about. The other thing that this game didn't have that I was hoping they would add was true RPG mechanics. One of my favorite parts of Tarkov is the hideout. One of my other favorite parts of Tarkov is the fact that you can, like, skill your character. You know, if you use the AK, your character will get more skilled in AK, have slightly faster weapon swap speed, slightly faster ADS speed, so on and so forth, just by virtue of playing the game and doing the thing. If you walk around over encumbered, your character slowly, very, very slowly, gets stronger. I dug that. I love the more RPG feel of these types of things. Now, Arena Breakout Infinite didn't have any of this, by the way. At least at the time. Granted, that was in beta. I don't know if they added that for the full release. By the time they added the full release, that's when it was pay to win, so I just didn't bother continuing to play the game. But, you know, hopefully they added those things, because if they do, I will be very happy. I'll be more likely to play the game longer. So, you know, we'll check it out, and if you guys do enjoy the video, like I said, give it a like, give it a sub, share it with your friends. I will always tell it to you straight. I'll always give you the full honest opinion. And I genuinely hope the game is good. I genuinely hope the game is good because, you know, this game did do certain things well. And I did enjoy certain things of this very, very much. And I would love for this game to be something I can recommend to you wholeheartedly as a free competitor to Tarkov. You know, if you buy cosmetics and stuff, that can be annoying, but, you know, they have to make their money somehow, so I don't mind buying cosmetics. Shit, even Tarkov finally added cosmetics, which is good, because I'd rather you add, you know, knife skins in the game, or, you know, special dog tags that look different or whatever, as opposed to something that breaks the immersion and is just straight up pay to win. That thing I just cannot abide. So hopefully, Arena Breakout Infinite learn from their mistakes. I can imagine that they're probably immensely disappointed with how much money they made by paying pay to win, because no one played the game when it was pay to win. And hopefully they will never be pay to win again. If that's the case, huge W, and I'm glad I contributed to that. So if you guys like someone who contributes to those types of things, share this video with your friends, give this video a like and a sub, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next video. And, maybe the next video will, in fact, be some actual footage of current day Arena Breakout Infinite. Again, if you want to see the original VOD, the original information, I will link the video from last year, way back when it was pay to win, in the discussion below. Thank you so much. Take care, guys. Have a great one.